I'm just hanging here shining. Chandelier, feel so good seeing things crystal clear. Hated by the world but respected by my peers. Live without no fear but stay away from the syringe. We living in the end, the world shaking off the hinge. Guess I'm brainwashed cause my mind just gotta cleanse. See this life for what it is if they can only get a glimpse. My focus razor sharp, just here to play my part. These the days of Noah, who's getting on the ark or swim in the waters infested with the sharks. It's hard to turn back when they left you in the dark. They hate to see you win and love to see you struggle. Just read the apostles fitting to get it off the muscle. Them precepts hitting and feathers getting ruffled. Reach the next level with the flesh we wrestle. Now rise with the tribes or dance with the devil. They on the highway to hell with the pedal to the metal. The preacher can't help him, he's embellished by the dollar. Became a pimp scholar, sweating while he holler. Smutting out the block while these youngins blasting choppers. Look at roster from a church boy to a shotter. No laws of God, the streets turn dangerous. Hard for me to cope, so it's Remy in my pancreas. Might lose your life just for being miscellaneous. Wrong place at the wrong time, then your time's up. Got me rolling solo, plus I keep this 9 tucked. You'll get lined up before you hit a lineup. The preacher should have told us there'll be days like this. Without God's laws, it's gonna stay like this. You will never hear a pastor give you game like this. And the radio will never ever play my ish. Lord, keep me moving forward, help me stay on track. Let me stand my own ground if they ain't got my back. Cause I'm spiritually rich if I ain't counting those stacks. These new age leaders can't stand my rants, but the truth is taking over. Now put that in your peace pipe and smoke it. Turn the lights on, watch them scatter like roaches. My vernacular's ferocious, inhabiting the conscious while your pioneer is open. The light switch is on in the heads of the chosen. And they tell me that I'm wrong for speaking truth to power, but it's on now. And they tell me that I'm wrong for speaking truth to power. The preachers got everybody sinning willfully. Whole block in mayhem. The spiritual leaders got you doing witchcraft and magic. And y'all want to tell me I'm wrong for speaking truth to power. It's on now. Shalom, Israel. It's your boy, New Breed, coming through with another live stream. Mic check, mic check. If the audio is coming in clearly, put a 1 in the chat if you all can hear me. Shalom, shalom. Audio check. Okay, everything is good. That's what's up. That's what's up. All praises to the God of Israel. We're about to have another very high-spirited, informative live stream this evening. Shabbat shalom to everybody joining this broadcast. I see DJ Tatted, just a messenger. Shout out to all the moderators, ladies and gentlemen. I see Censor 247 in the house. I see Aaron Brooks is in the house. Jay Amando, Mrs. Ambitious, True Love's in here. King C3, yeah, just watching is in here. King Knight, all praises to the Most High. As y'all enter the chat, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Let's not be selfish and stingy. Let's make sure everybody else is able to get notifications because we're going to have a very interesting broadcast. In about a half an hour to 45 minutes from now, I'm going to be introducing my special guest. And that's Woodrow, former member of Dru Hill. He now goes by the name of Yaqob. That's my brother from another right there. And that brother is going to be coming through and he's going to be dropping some jewels, some tidbits of information, some gems, some rubies, all of the above about the music industry and his time period spent in the music industry. And he's going to really keep a lot of you brothers and sisters grounded who are musicians. We're also going to do this from a biblical perspective. You know how we do. We don't play no games. We go into that word and we're going to bring out some verses because I've been watching a lot go on, ladies and gentlemen, in this industry. And it's to the point where I know Brothers and sisters need to be warned because the untimely deaths of so many reputable figures are being outlined in chalk. And it's not like they're just dying, they're being murdered. And I don't think people realize the power of their words. I don't think people realize the power of this music. I don't think they understand how demonic the frequencies are that's leaving people spellbound. Because, ladies and gentlemen, these words cast spells, and many people are falling into these curses that's being placed underneath these artists. All right. The death toll is innumerable. Between 2017 to 2020, we had at the very least 50 rappers that died. Not just died, but were murdered. And there's a big difference. And we have to warn brothers and sisters who have all this talent and ambition. We got to warn them against this demonic music industry because it truly destroys the spirit. And we're going to be talking about how it destroys the spirit. And this is going to be a phenomenal stream. This is going to be a very phenomenal stream. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all just go ahead and mash that thumbs up button. I'm going to go ahead and set the stage for Brother Woodrow. I'm going to go ahead and go into some scriptures to start things off. There's some things I want to show y'all. And, you know, in this day and age, we got to maneuver wise as serpent, harmless as doves. It seems that the so-called elite or powers that be want to push and promote negative music, negative frequency, low vibrations to have our people killing each other, downright murdering each other, savages, cannibalizing each other. But as you can see, the song that you heard at the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, that's from myself, in case you don't know. Artist name, I Am New Breed. You can find that particular song on New Breed Music and Motivation. And that track right there, it uplifts the vibrations. It sets the tone for where we should be. And I advise everybody to support that music, to support the real deal, support the Brew League over there on Inside the Nation Radio. Support Brother Yaqob, also named as Woodrow. Just support Hebraic music, support truth music. All right. Now, with no further ado, I'm going to go into some scriptures because there's some things that we got to talk about. But before I dive right into the scriptures, which I'm pulling them up right now, I'm multitasking over here. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that they have no issue with us rapping about killing us. They have no issue about us talking about running up on the ops. Pulling up on brothers. They have no issue with it. They have no issue with us talking about murdering the next man in our community. They have no issue with us rapping about selling drugs to our community. There's no issues. But I double dog dare any rapper out here in the mainstream media to talk about running up on Fauci. Yeah. Talk about running up on Bill Gates with the AR, splitting this melon. I dare anybody talk about the Jesuit cabal, how you going to run up on them and destroy them and hit them with sniper rifles. Your ass would be canceled immediately. See, I don't think brothers understand how spiritual the music is. The music is spiritual, and we fight with our music. Yes, Satan himself was a chief musician in heaven, but Satan was casted down, which means the Most High God has a music in this earth that we can project into the atmosphere that fights and destroys evil, that lifts generational curses, that breaks spells, that bring those dry bones to life, those same bones that's in the valley. Our music can heal. Our frequencies can heal. So we know that we can speak on certain things in our music. Poetry has always been modern journalism when it comes to rappers. It's always been expression of ourselves. It's always displayed what was happening within the inner city in our communities. The poets were highly revered. Some would even say that music is the master of all trades. That's how important this topic is. But I'm gonna go ahead and go to some scriptures. I'm gonna go to some scriptures here. And we're gonna go to the book of Ezekiel. All right. We're going to Ezekiel chapter 28. And I'm gonna start off and verse 13. Ezekiel 28, verse 13. And it reads, "Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of the tabrets and of the pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created." See, this right here is talking about Satan roaming the Garden of Eden. It's telling you that Satan had beautiful music. He had sapphire, he had pipes, carbuncles, gold. In his very physical makeup, there were cherubims, there were horns, they were installed in his body. When you hear the Jay-Z song, Lucifer, Dawn of the Morning, or Son of the Morning, Lucifer's job in the heavenly realm before he was casted out was to arise the angelic forces in the heavens. So he had beautiful music already created in his physical makeup. Now I want to show you, and it's even argued in some extra biblical text that Lucifer actually used his music to help to basically beguile Eve. That he played a certain song to be able to strum her along and get her to a certain place where he can serenade her and convince her. Now, I'm going to go to verse 15 here. Verse 15, it reads, "Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee." It says, "Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee." See, this was Satan went wrong. He had iniquity bounded in him. And it's going to show you why. Verse 16, "By the multitudes of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, with violence, with violence. And thou hast sinned. Therefore, I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire." Now listen, violence was in his soul, corruption. Now, when you hear this music these days, now you see why Satan always operating on violence. Now you see why so much death coming out of these talented artists' mouth and getting all of this promotion. You see why all these negative stereotypes are continually perpetuated. They love that spirit of violence. Now, let's continue. "Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee." Yes. So Satan's beauty is the reason why his wisdom was corrupted, his brightness. So that goes into that covetous spirit. Artists they be feeling themselves. They like, man, I'm the hottest rapper in my city. Can't nobody match my bars. Can't nobody match my vernacular. I'm the dopest artist out here. And then they embody that spirit, the same spirit that Satan has. And when they rap, all you hear is this braggadocious, slanderous, blasphemy that comes out of their mouth because they forgot the same thing that Satan forgot, that the Most High God created them. He gave them the talents. Now listen, you can run away as far as you would like to with the talents that the Most High gave you, but he gave them to you. And at the end, if you take those talents for granted and use them to do evil, then you will be judged just like Satan was. And Satan was casted out at the end. He is void from light. Imagine that, the most brightest spiritual entity other than the Most High is void of light now. And that's how a lot of these artists end. They're void of light. It's sudden destruction. Their lights literally get turned off. That same light that's supposed to carry them to the afterlife to find peace, they lose that light. It says, thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, meaning I'll put you before men. I'll let you shine before men, kings on this earth, that they may behold you. Listen, you have been relegated. Satan has been relegated to the world, to the world's estate instead of the heavenly realm. He done got his ass casted out of the terrestrial realm, and now he's relegated as a demon. And he's only able to use and misuse these young brothers and sisters. Now let's read one more verse here, and that's verse 18. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitudes of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee. And I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. And that is what's happening with a lot of these artists. They are being brought to ashes, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. They're being brought to nothing. Why? Because they're casting spells on themselves with their lyrics. They're going against the grain. They forgot the Most High gave them the talent, and they're perishing because of it. Now, that's just the real deal. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all get the thumbs up in this video. Mind you, I cannot see how many thumbs up to views ratio, but we want to make sure we get our normal numbers up in here before we even bring Woodrow in. So show y'all support. And when that brother comes in, there's going to be a lot of gems being dropped. So if you in here and you enjoying this, I want y'all to hit that share button. I want y'all to light this chat up. Show these demonic powers that be, who continue to try to shadow ban, who continue to try to stop the word of the Most High. Show them that y'all not playing no games. Show them. Show them that y'all want to hear the truth from a person who was in the industry and someone who also treaded the fence and was nearly a part of the industry. Because in case you don't know, I've had my time. I've had my time where I've could have been in that certain light. Now, we're going to go to some more scriptures here. We're going to go to some more scriptures here. And y'all give me one moment. And we're going to go to Mark chapter 8, verse 36, and it reads, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and to lose his soul? What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? I mean, these rappers are getting it all, right? They're getting the finer things. They're living a certain lifestyle, but guess what? It don't profit them a damn thing to lose their everlasting eternal soul. Totally void of light. I was watching an interesting video earlier of Jaquan. For those who don't know who Jaquan is, he was a rapper who came out with the infamous track, Hood Hop. He was a very young man when he was first introduced to the industry. I was watching something that was very interesting what he was saying. He really brought the spiritual dynamics to what his soul was going through, just being a part of that industry. He said that when he would perform, when he would get on stage, he would actually see people's faces begin to mutate. Yeah, he also came out with that song Tipsy. He would look into the audience and he would see people's faces begin to shift. And he knew in his heart and soul that everything he was experiencing was wrong. Everything was demonic. He couldn't put his hands on it. And my brother Woodrow, he has very similar experiences with the industry, and I'm gonna allow him to share that with y'all tonight. But we're gonna really hone in on what this industry does to your spirit, what it really does to your spirit. You got to understand, when you are an artist, the Most High blessed you with this talent. He gave you a great responsibility with this talent to be able to change souls, to be able to lead with your music. And when you use it to create sin, there's a heavy burden that you got to carry when you go against the grain. And you know, you have some people who are absolute narcissists. You got people like Jay-Z, who, you know, people who was around Madam Slovakia, and I think I'm pronouncing her name right, the woman who was in the spirit cooking. You know, you got people who are just totally dark. You know, that pineal gland is complete blackness. They don't have no type of conscience whatsoever. They're soulless, and it is what it is. You have people like that who, you know, it ain't no going back. They're at the point of no return. And those particular people, you know, who like to swim in blood, bathe in the blood of children, you know, those people who took that oath of silence and secrecy, those who are part of the satanic rituals, those who really dabble heavy into witchcraft and magic, because it happens. It happens. Satan will never give you such a high position unless you hit the ceiling and you just kept on going to the point of no return. You just kept going. And those people, that's not who I'm talking about, but the people who feel conviction. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there are people in the industry that watch these videos. They watch videos like mine. They watch videos from other content creators. They won't tell you that until you really ruffle their feathers and you piss them off. But recently you had the Dream. He actually went back and forth with a sister on YouTube, a content creator. So they watch what we're saying. So, you know, I'm speaking to those who feel the conviction, who are in that industry or about to sign, because there's many people that follow me and I follow them on Instagram who are immensely talented, who are right on the cusp of gaining all the fame, gratification that they ever desired. And they're at that place where they're dwindling. And this video is for you, because you got to know that your spirit will not be the same. If you go ahead and gain the world, you're going to lose it all. You know, you're going to lose it all. And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to say this just like this. There's way too many platforms. There's way too many platforms for you to put out your music. You're too worried about numbers. It's just too many platforms. If your music is God-given, if that is your purpose in life, because sometimes we go against the grain. We try to live out a purpose that's not ours. But if that's your purpose in life, the Most High will allow your music to reach the people it's supposed to reach. You cannot worry about numbers. You got to be happy with the small things: food, clothes, shelter, and raiment. You cannot desire to have the whole world, because if you're making righteous, God-fearing music, is only for a select. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, narrow is the path to salvation. Broad leadeth to damnation. So if you appear to the broad demographic of people, then that's an issue. Now, you may appear, let me rephrase that, because you may appeal to the wide demographic of people and they might not even know why. But when your music changes certain things in the mind, it rearranges some of those spells and some of those curses, then the Most High is going to use it for the people he wants to reach. All right. And that's what we got to understand. Now, I'm going to share the link to this particular stream in my chat. I want to share it in my chat. So if Woodrow is watching, he can come on in and join soon as he gets the link. Let me see. Let me see if I could do it this way. Y'all bear with me. Y'all know I'm not the most tech savvy, but you know, we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. So as you can see, I got that in the chat, Woodrow. You could just click in, and soon as I see you pop up, we'll get you on in here. Bang Out says, how you been, Breed? I've been well. I've been doing well. I've been blessed. And, you know, while I'm waiting on Woodrow, I will be going to other scriptures. Y'all give me a moment here. Got more verses for y'all. And I know Woodrow, he's going to come with those scriptures as well. All right. We're going to Proverbs 18 and 21. Proverbs 18 and 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. I mean, listen, your words are very, very powerful. It took my grandmoms to tell me straight up. She used to find my lyrics. She used to find my lyrics sitting around. And some of my lyrics will be godly. Some of my lyrics will be the most blessed, prosperous lyrics. And then you will find those other sheets of paper. You will find those other sheets of paper, right? And those other sheets of paper would have a lot of violence, a lot of my anger, a lot of pain. And I remember she sat me there one day and she said, grandson, you know, when you write these lyrics, they only could be you only could be writing for one or two sides, God or the devil. And it stuck to me. Something that simple, it stuck to me for a number of years because she's right. She's right. If your music is not to glorify the Heavenly Father, who is your music glorifying? Because everything has a root and everything has a source. So when you're talking about running up on the ops, you serving Satan, and a lot of these rappers, they already know they on demon time. They know what they on. They know that they on demon time. They think it's a good thing to be demons and devils. All the way to the point where it's over for them. I'm telling you, man. Let's see here. We're going to go to some more scriptures here. Let's see. Let me see if I could share this link one more time in case Woodrow didn't catch it. Let's do that one more time. Because we got more scriptures, y'all. And Woodrow, if you're watching, take your time out. When you catch it, I'm going to let you on in. Oh, hold on. You know what? I don't know if I'm doing this right. Let me try this way. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try it that way. And if any of my moderators see it in the chat, just make sure you share it again. Okay, I see my brother Woodrow. All praises to the Most High. I'm gonna let this brother on in here with no further ado. Y'all get the mics up. Shalom, Ak. How you doing, family?
Shalom. Good, glad to be here, brother. Glad to be here.
All praises to the Most High, man. Hey, yes, you just a brother to really expound and quantify on this topic, man. You know, first of all, let me give you the proper rollout. Let me make sure everybody, know what it is. This is Brother Woodrow, former member of Dru Hill. This brother here been in the truth for a number of years. He been teaching. He has his YouTube channel. His name is also known as Yaqob, right? Correct? Am I pronouncing that correct, brother?
Yaqob 410. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yaqob 410. And yes, I oblige everybody to check his channel out. He definitely breaks the Bible down from several different angles. He's going through those precepts. He's going through each transliteration, which is, that's just something I'm wondering why I ain't think to do it that way, because that's teaching people the layers of the scriptures, so you could decipher it in multiple ways. But you know, the reason I called this brother in tonight is because I want this brother to share a little bit of his testimony, and then I got some questions I want to ask, and I want to see your thoughts on certain things that's happening right now in the industry. All right. First and foremost, I'll give you the table. I don't want to be too long-winded, but with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, brother Woodrow.
Hey man, I'm just glad to be in here with you, brother. I definitely respect and appreciate what you're doing for our people. There's so many people who understand it different ways, and it's like the way that you break it down is so plain. What they say, even a baby can understand it for real. So I give you so much respect for that. You know, like I come from a background where my mom was a teacher. So I come from like a school background. So I try to go in and get them definitions and get that stuff to make sure everybody understand what I'm saying. But the way you just got that gift naturally that you could just talk regular and ain't even got to worry about it. Like people just able to follow you, you know?
Oh, respect, family. All praises to the Most High. All praises.
All praises, yes, sir.
Now, when you was a part of this industry, if you don't mind, I just wanted to ask you this.
Oh yeah.
I was making a comparison earlier of some of the things that me and you spoke in regards to what you've seen in the industry, and the brother Jay Quan, because I just happened to watch something he was doing, a documentary on BET, and I was wondering some of the things that you've seen, or some of the spiritual metamorphosis you begin to go through just being a part of that industry. What went on in your spirit that just pushed you out of there? Like, what are some of the things you experienced?
Man, I remember very clearly, like when I left, because I left it for the first time, and then I ended up coming back because under the contract that I had, the only way that they would release me to be able to put out the gospel project that I put out was that I had to agree to come back and do another R&B project. So in between those two projects, a good friend of mine who was he was a radio personality here in Baltimore by the name of Big Tony, he passed away. So at his funeral, the pastor who was who was presiding over his funeral, he said, and he was making it like he was talking to everybody, but I knew and he knew that he was talking to me. And he said, it's going to be a period where as though you're going to go out on stage and everybody going to be screaming, ah. He said, but when you go back to your hotel room, you're going to be in there by yourself and you're going to be screaming, God. Ooh. And sure enough, that's what happened. It's like during that time, it's like I didn't know literally if I was going or coming. It was times where as though I would go to the other members of my singing group and I would tell them like, look, my suitcase, tell them where my suitcase is located in my room and be like, if y'all ever see me come out my room and my clothes not matching and I'm looking crazy or something like that, please just walk me back to my room and pick me out an outfit and put it on the bed for me to put on. Because I didn't know, like the spirit, felt like the Heavenly Father, like, when they prayed, King David prayed, like, uphold me with thy free spirit and do not take your spirit away from me. I felt like he took like all my sanity away from me during that time that we was doing that third album, to the point where we would do interviews and I wouldn't even know what I said. Like I had to wait and watch it on TV like everybody else to remember what I said, because I didn't know what I was saying. Like I was like a zombie. And it was like, remember when King David would play for King Saul, he would play for him music with the calming spirit. It was like certain songs that I would listen to and it would bring me back to myself. And it ended up being like the Winans. It was like a lot of old gospel music from like the 80s and the early 90s that was still based off of the Bible, because we can get into this later on too. Even gospel music have been tampered with. Like the gospel music that we listening to now is not based out the Bible like the gospel music from like the 70s and the 80s. I don't know if anybody watching saw the Clark Sisters movie, where as though they saw Twinkie, whenever she would write a song for them to sing, she would have her Bible in her hand, and the lyrics to the songs that she would write was based straight out of the Bible. Whereas though the gospel music now is based off of, you got some new age influence, you got some whatever made people feel good influence and stuff like that. So even the gospel music has been tampered with in these days that we in right now. So it's like the old school stuff is the best stuff. So it's just like at the time that I was doing that, I basically felt like I lost my mind. And the only thing that would bring me back to reality is when I would listen to that gospel music, and it would bring me back to hearing those words straight from the Bible would bring me back to who I was. But then as soon as I would go right back out there on stage and get right back in that mix, I would go right back to myself that didn't know if I was going or coming from.
Right. Now, Ak, let me ask you this, because, you know, you and I have had conversations and we've done it on air as well, where, you know, you've already stated you haven't participated in nothing outright or demonic as far as a ritual or a oath of silence or a sacrifice, nothing to that degree. So let me ask you this. What do you think is the overall outlining factor, the triggering component to the spiritual deprivation that you was feeling? You think is the atmosphere? Do you think it was the I would say covert psychological impression that the industry had? Was it the sin, or what was it? What was the underlying feeling? Do you think from looking back at it now, what it was that was so what we would call evil about what was going on in that time?
I think is when you know better, with the old school saying that people say, when you know better, you do better. It's like the more I would come to know and the more that I would learn about the Heavenly Father, it's like the more he would hold me responsible for what I was doing. See what I'm saying? Because like when I first started, I really didn't know much, because all I knew was what they teach in church on a regular basis, like regular Christian church that I was going to. So it's like as long as I would stay within the parameters and not do the things that was dudes taught there that we wasn't supposed to do, I was okay. But as soon as I started reading and researching more, like Spider-Man said, with great power come great responsibility. So it's like the more I would learn about the Heavenly Father, the more he would hold me responsible for more actions and stuff. Because as you know better, you're supposed to do better. But as I was learning more and knowing better, but I was still doing the same crap. You see what I'm saying? So it's like certain stuff that the Bible will teach you that's wrong, but church will teach you is okay. Like, for example, this is like not as far as music, but like in church, they'll say if you're a good person if you don't drink and you don't smoke. Whereas though in the Bible it permits you to drink, but it tell you that you're not supposed to eat crabs and shellfish. So it's like once you know that you're not supposed to be doing these things, and then you still continue to do them. Like I never had an allergy to crabs and shellfish, and I'm not trying to be racist. And I hope I don't sound ignorant, but most of the people that I know that had shellfish allergies was always light skinned. And I'm brown. I never had a shellfish allergy, but as soon as I read and I found out that we wasn't supposed to be eating it, the next time I ate some crabs after knowing better, I got the itching all over and swelling and everything because I knew better. You see what I'm saying? So it's like once you start knowing better, then you get convicted to things that you might wasn't convicted to before. So during the time that I was putting out the gospel project, I really was reading my Bible, trying to make my songs by words out the Bible. So the more that I was reading and the more that I was learning, I was supposed to be changing in my actions too. So the fact that I wasn't changing in my actions, I think that's what the Heavenly Father allowed me to feel those things, so it could let me know, all right, now you know better. Before you ain't know better. It can say in Hebrews, like he used to wink. I think it's Hebrews. He used to wink at our ignorance because he know we ain't know no better. But once you start knowing better, and you still keep doing the same stuff, or still keep trying to do the same stuff, that's when you start getting punished. That's when you really start getting smacked up. Like our parents. I was always use an example, like a little newborn baby. If you lift up a newborn baby and they just being born, sometimes the baby might pee on whoever lifting them up out of excitement from being picked up. You see what I'm saying? And people would look at that like, oh my goodness, that's cute. I even heard some people say that's good luck. But we being grown and we know better than that. We pee on me or you pee on somebody, they gonna try to kill us. Or if somebody try to pee on me or you, we gonna try to kill them because they know better. You see what I'm saying?
So the veil was being lifted and that conviction came in. And that's I just want to say that's a blessing in itself that you was right there in the cusp of everything, you know, the bright lights, you know, the life as we would call it. And the whole time the veil was being lifted simultaneously. Not too many brothers can say that it happened that way. And that's just that's a blessing right there. Most High was speaking to you. He was like, nah, I'm gonna need you for something else. I'm gonna need you to warn my people. I'm gonna
That's
need
it
you to
right
tell
there.
me. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And
That's it.
you know, it's something else I wanted to bring up to you. I watched a couple interviews you done, and also some things you spoke on in your channel in regards to the simp culture. And I
Oh,
want to, yeah, I want to go into R&B because I want to talk about how it destroyed, you know, during that time, a little bit before your time and a little bit, you know, after, you know,
mhm.
we had the simp music, which ultimately
Yeah,
destroyed the spirit of man. When you look at it,
yeah.
it emasculated men. It got a lot of men out here simps. I mean, you know, don't get it twisted. I like some of the music that they made back then, but
Hmm.
I think Dru Hill was a little bit more. Y'all was more. I think y'all had more a little of that gutter hood. Y'all had a
Yeah, we
little
from
more.
Baltimore.
Yeah,
We from
y'all.
Baltimore. You from
Yeah,
DC, so you already know we ain't
yeah.
going so hard.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah. When I listen
Yeah.
to y'all, I didn't hear what I heard in every other thing. Even when I still go back and play things, play certain tracks,
Hmm.
I still hear it. So what do you think about that? I want you to expound on how, you know, the music kind of killed the spirit of men, just men in particular right now.
Man, I mean, the whole happy life, happy wife, happy life, and all that. It's just got so like it was commonplace and taught to us men that the only way that we was gonna be happy is if we made sure the woman was happy first. And it was nothing like even to this day, like how they always so much music and so much propaganda reminding all the females and all the ladies to remember, oh, you a queen, you this and you that, you know, but it's like we never have nothing building up us brothers, you know, like the only way that we can feel like we get built up as a man is if we are building up the woman. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong, but let me say that I love the ladies. I love any females listening and watching. And I know y'all know you got the ladies watching because they want to know the truth. But it's like it's nothing wrong with building up our sisters, but it's supposed to be a mutual thing. And if the Bible says that the man is the head of the household, then it's only right and it only makes sense for the man to have to get built up too. You know, like it ain't always just about the lady. It's about both people getting edified and both people. Like I had a good friend of mine that broke me out of my simp thing early in the game. I remember
Right.
I used to sing and I used to say to this brother, like he used to tell me all the time, like, man, out of all my friends, you the easiest one to hook up for like a double date or whatever. Like I can always get somebody to say they want to hang out with you. And I took it offensively. I was like, man, that's mess. I was like, man, I don't like that. He's like, why? I was like, because the only reason why probably like 80% of them want to hang out with me is because I'm singing. You see what I'm saying? And they could turn on their TV and they could see me. He's like, well, he's like, you gotta be real. The only reason why you want to hook up with some of them, you know, I'm gonna put it out there, and I don't feel bad about it because Saint King Solomon gave a verse in Ecclesiastes to say, let her breast satisfy you at all times. So I'm a breast man. So he said the only reason why you want to hook up with them is because they got some nice breasts and a cute face. So he's like, what he said to me is fair exchange is no robbery. He's like, so as long as you getting what you want and they getting what they want, and both of y'all leaving the table with a smile on y'all face, then what's wrong with it? He's like, it's only something wrong with it if one person is getting what they want and the
Mhm.
other person is getting left feeling left out or getting felt cheated or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like if you
Exactly.
pay your money to go to a concert and you take the money, but then it ain't no concert, then the one person feel cheated that put their money up. You see what I'm saying? But if they pay their money for a concert and you get up there and you sing the songs, then at the end of the day, everybody got a smile on their face and everybody's happy. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like you taught me that, whereas though you don't always put everything you got on the table and then
Mhm.
you don't get anything back. And by the same token, you don't want to be the person on the wicked end that's taking all from somebody else and you not getting anything for it. So it's like as long as everybody getting what they need from the equation, then it's right. But we not taught that. Like we taught that the man is supposed to. All the songs say, "I work my fingers to the bone. I do this. I do that." And then the
Mhm.
woman, she just sit on a high horse on a throne like this, like,
Mhm.
I guess I'll give you something for that. I guess I'll take me out after you did
Real
all that.
talk.
After you spent your whole paycheck or whatever. And it's like we are not taught to value ourselves, even to the point where, like, if you go out on it, if you bring somebody to meet your parents. If a
Mhm.
female brings a male to meet her parents, they're gonna want to know. what do you want to do with yourself? Do you want to, what type of career do you want to have or whatever? What plans or intentions do you have with my daughter or my niece or my granddaughter or whatever the case may be, or the brother? What intentions do you have with my sister? But when a guy bring home a female, most times the males in the family, as soon as they see she look all right, that's all they cared about. They dapping you up. They don't know nothing about what this female want to do with herself. They don't know if she want to have a career, if she want to sit around and be a bum or whatever. They just like, as soon as they see that she look cute in the face or got a nice shape or whatever, they like, oh boy, you done good for yourself. They get to dapping you up and all that. And it shouldn't be like that. You see what I'm saying? Like it should be on both ends. Like
it's
people
supposed to be balanced.
Equality, it should be on both ends. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Balance. It should be some balance in that. But we not taught that. Like us as men, we never taught that. We taught that we supposed to go all out. And then even after we go all out, the female still is in a position where she's above us and we look up. But what I learned in my real life is if you treat her like a fan, if you treat her like a celebrity, she gonna treat you like a fan. So it's like you got to know that type of stuff, but those type of gems wasn't dropped on me until I got on social media, until I started going on YouTube and watching brothers bring out stuff, and even brothers like yourself giving etiquette about, like when a female, one of my favorite things you ever said was when you go out on a date and the lady want to sit there and gossip about what happened at her job today or who she don't like at her work and all that stuff. You was like, I don't give a damn what happened at your job today. And we can listen sometimes. Like I tell my lady all the time, like she'd say, oh, I feel so bad. I feel like I'm dumping things on you or whatever. But I seen a meme one time that said, if a man, and I'm not going to use the word because we on social media, but it said if a man is humping you, he can help you. And that's the thing. I said, I'm humping you so I can help you. I sit there and listen. But a female that you ain't doing nothing with, and you just trying to think that you just can be such a good friend that eventually she gonna let you get that position or let you get that opportunity. Me speaking as a person that was the king of all simps, I can tell you what's gonna happen. She gonna break up with the one guy. She can call you up and complain to you for months and months about one guy. And as soon as she say, oh man, I'm done with him, you'll sit there co-sign and sitting there like, oh yeah, you need to go ahead and let him go. What's gonna happen? She gonna let him go, and then she gets so excited, she gonna call you up. You gonna be pumped. She be like, "I want you to come over here." You like, "Oh shucks, man, my hard work done paid off." She like, "Yeah, I want you to come over here." You gonna be pumped. Like, should I bring anything? Like, "Oh yeah, because there's a new guy that I'm talking to now. I want you to check him out and let me know what you think about him." And that's exactly the furthest you're gonna get. All that simping gonna get you, and all that hating on the next guy and telling her, "Oh man, he's no good and he's a bum and he's this," ain't gonna do nothing to get you to let you check out her next guy.
And you know what? They needed to hear that. Everybody needed to hear that from a brother who sung R&B and sings R&B. That's important because you see what was going on in that culture and what it made today. I remember it was one track that came out. I give you the earth, the moon, a star. I'm like, damn, what's she giving? I remember that track, and when I listened to it, the melodies are fire. I can to this day, I like some of them songs. I even like a lot of Boys to Men songs and all that. But once you know, it's like what it is. You just listening for the melody and things of that nature. But you see what stage that they were setting for the people. Now let's fast forward. Just fast forward a little bit.
Oh, let me say one thing. I'm not to cut you off. Let me say one thing.
What's
that? A lot of times, the guys who sing them songs, they don't live that life. Like a lot. I remember hearing about one rapper, and he sing all that bees and hoes and all that. And they talked to his woman, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, he's so different from those records at home. He's so sweet. He's the sweetest, nicest guy ever." But the guys who sing all them songs about bring you the sun, the moon, and the mountains, some of them guys be the ones that be real aggressive and smacking their women up, like the domestic violence you hear about an R&B singer. What? And the rappers that sing all the rough stuff be the ones that be treating their women gentle and tender at home for real. So a lot of people be just singing that song. Sometimes I feel like they singing that to put the majority of men on that path, on the simple path, and then they can come across being a alpha for real and get all the girls in real life.
For real. That's true right there.
Everybody advice for real.
Hey, that's true. I ain't gonna ask you to put out
Yeah.
no names.
No, I definitely don't put no
I'm over
names
here
out there.
guessing in my head. I could just
I tell
I
you
could,
once we get off the
right,
air,
right.
I shoot you the news
Yeah, for
reports and
sure.
stuff like that, but I ain't gonna put it out to the
Right. No,
everybody.
no, I wouldn't even ask you to do that. But I know I kind of got an idea of some of the artists around that time that's doing that
Mm-hmm.
very same thing you speak of. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
fact. But no doubt about it, brother. Like, let's fast forward a little bit to what we got now. So now, right now,
Mm-hmm.
they set it up so men would have this simp mentality, only to be
Right.
set up for the kill, really. Because now you look at it, and now look at what we got. Even with artists now who are R&B, it's like men and women are totally objective towards each other. It's like there's no balance. It's like it's a
No.
spinning broken axis with this, and it's really destroying a connection. One thing I notice when I walk into a bar, club, anywhere, first thing I notice is women on one side, men on the other side.
Yep.
I see this whole homies over hoes type of energy where,
Yep.
listen, dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Like, hold up, champ. Hold on, champ. All these beautiful women in here, and you
For
want to
real.
dance with your dogs. Nah, no. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I see when I walk in, and I'm like, and then the women, they kind of gyrating, they kind of grinding, mixing with each other. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you listen to the music, it's not only killing the spirit with the people, but I truly believe that it's a anti-life. It's a very anti-life agenda going on in the industry, to the point where they don't want us mixing it in, even in the late 90s. Man, early 90s, late 90s, the house party, the club was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different energy. We went out. Most brothers had the swoosh pants on. We're gonna be, the swoosh pants, the thin joints where you can feel everything. You just leaning on the wall and you waiting on your turn. That's all it is. Because women gravitate. You grab one by the waist and it go down. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's total separation between man and woman. And I just wanted you to kind of add on to what you think the overall agenda is with the type of music you got. Do you think it's gotten too far as far as how objective it's making women and things of that nature? Or, because what do you think about it, Ak?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna make this main point first, and then I want to go back to something that you said. But the main point that I want to make is like a lot of these artists are actors and actresses. The stuff that they sing and that they suggest to all of us to do is not what they doing. Case in point, the queen of artists as far as females go, Beyonce. She'll make a whole album called Lemonade. And she'll sing all these songs telling all these girls, put your finger in his face, tell him boy bye, and all this other foolishness. But then right after that album came out, she was pregnant by the same guy that everybody assumed that she was talking about. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they put that out there amongst us, but they don't take their own advice. They don't even live like that. Like, it's somebody telling them. I believe it's somebody telling them. Like, you remember that show that Wayne Brady used to have called Whose Line Is It? And they give you a topic and you had to write a song on that topic.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like that the music industry is doing. Like, they give people, like the artists, in order for them to have a hit, they got to talk about this topic. Whether they living that in real life or they not living that in this topic. I mean, in real life, because I remember Nicki Minaj coming out and saying that she never liked girls like that. But it's like when she first came out, she's singing, let me sign your boobs and all that. And all the girls want to go to her concert with magic Sharpies and stuff like that, so she can write on their boobs to get them feeling like that. But in all actuality, she don't even really feel like that. You see what I'm saying? It's like they putting this stuff in our heads, but they don't really feel like that. Like, that's what they push into the majority. That's what they push it to the masses. But in behind closed doors in real life, they not even living this stuff. Like, they turning all the women against the guys, and then they turn the guys against the females. It's like when you look at, thank you, bro. When you look at, even like outside of music, because it's all one culture, it's all together, music, movies, all that stuff fit together. Like, you look online and you look at a lot of brothers that's giving advice on how to deal with females. And you got all of them, a bunch of them saying, let's go, men going their own way. We don't even deal with these females. F these bees, F these hoes, and all that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And then you on the flip side of it, you got females saying, "Oh man, we don't need these guys for anything. We feminists, we strong, we this. Let's burn the bras and let's do this, that, and the third." It's like it's so much going on trying to separate men from women. And there's no, like you said earlier, the key word you said when we first got on here, balance. It's no balance. It's like it's not teaching us how to deal with teaching men how to deal with a female correctly so that the things that have happened to us and definitely have happened to a lot of us don't happen. You know, like when you deal with somebody, when you change the way you do something, if you don't like something, the results change the way that you go about it, you might get different results. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But when you go at it smart, then you get different results. When I first started going online and learning stuff, and I started dealing with the females that I would encounter, I started getting whole different results. So it was to the point where I wasn't like, it was a period where as though that stuff did sound good to me because I was hurt and damaged. So that whole MGTOW stuff, oh man, F these, house, whatever. I felt like that. I did. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna admit it. But then I started coming across better content creators that would teach you how to deal with them according to wisdom, and you start getting better results. Like, you know what? Ladies ain't so bad when you know how to deal with them, when you know what they really like, when you know what makes them tick, then there's no reason really to hate them. It's just, it's more better to understand. And the same with guys. It's like a lot of ladies that have the same results over and over in their dealings with guys. But if you would deal with guys according to knowledge, as opposed to what these TV shows show you, what these movies show you and stuff like that, and deal with them according to real knowledge, then you probably would have better results. You see what I'm saying? So it's all about dealing with each other properly, dealing with each other the right way. And even the Bible, if you look in the books of, like, I love the wisdom books in the Bible, like Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, and Wisdom of Solomon. If we deal with each other the way that them books give us to advise us to deal with each other, we wouldn't have so much conflict. We wouldn't be at each other's necks all the time, because that's what the enemy want. They want us all at each other's necks all the time because they want to take the population down to a certain number. So if ain't no men dealing with women, ain't gonna be no more babies born. You see what I'm saying? And that's what somebody wants that. I'm not gonna say who, but somebody wants that. So somebody is very powerful. So if they could keep putting it in the minds and in the pens of all of our artists that's writing our songs and making all our culture for us right now, to keep on pushing that to us, then that's what everybody's gonna follow suit. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, it's so important to have brothers like yourself and have brothers that's out here that really can reach the culture, letting them know that yes, we can deal with each other, but we had to deal with each other properly, because a lot of the stuff that ladies used to be able to get away with, dirty tricks that some ladies used to girl code or whatever, is not gonna work no more, because brothers know that. And even, I'll admit, a lot of the guy code that us brothers might have been doing for so long might not fly no more, because ladies is hip to that. Like, we gotta deal with each other real and righteous, not trying to be all slick and all trying to be all whatever. You know, like, we gotta deal with each other right, because with all this access to knowledge that the internet has given us, ain't nobody stupid no more. You know?
Absolutely, yeah. And man, you hit on so many key factors just now, especially about the anti-life agenda. And you know, as long as I've been doing social media, man, I've always prided myself on being a pro-life advocate. And you know, typically when you speak in that language, when you desire people to populate and have life, you speak in a foreign language. But let me not digress. One thing that I really notice is the violence. I brung this up earlier in hip hop. I spoke in regards. I mean, I brung this up earlier in the video. The fact of the matter that they don't mind brothers talking about killing each other all day. They don't mind men and women being separate. They don't mind. It ain't nothing to cut this B off. They don't mind death all day. Anything that's going to divide us or kill us. But you ain't going to hear no rapper talking about run up on Fauci with the 4-5. And I ain't telling no rapper to say that. Let me just be clear. But you're not going to hear it. And I wanted to get into the solution and what music really should be, because we could talk about the spiritual depravity, but there's a lot of scriptures in the word that talks about the healing power of music. And I know for a fact that the Most High is waking his true artists up. And you know, in the book of Psalms, it tells us to sing hymns unto the Lord. Like these things make
Right.
a, you know, it make a dramatic difference, which is going to help me. I mean, which really I want to segue into the gospel, the time you spent in the gospel industry. But I just want to I want to just point out the fact that there is real gospel music, but I want you to kind of more so break down once again what you experience in the gospel industry. Now, every time we tried to do this before, somebody started jingling wires, and it's
Mm-hmm.
never really been expounded on like I'm hoping we could do in this particular video, the gospel industry. Now,
Right.
you stated that transition from the secular realm to the gospel realm. And this is the part they really don't want to talk about, because when we talk about the music industry, we're talking about the industry in its totality. We're not just talking about secular music. We're talking about
Right.
what they call, quote unquote, gospel music.
Exactly.
What was your experience like in transitioning from mainstream hip hop or R&B to gospel?
It was actually it was a culture shock because like at least on the R&B side or the hip hop side or whatever, people pretty much sung about how they were. You know, like some people exaggerated a little bit or whatever, but people would sing, "I'm a Doug, I'm trying to get it on the first night." You know, I'm this, that, and the third. Like they would sing these songs so you kind of knew how they felt. But on the
Mm-hmm.
gospel side, it's like it seemed like to me a lot of people, and I didn't meet everybody, so I can't say everybody, but from the people that I met, a lot of people that I met, the harder they got up in front of the church and cried on a Sunday or fell on the floor and stuff like that, the wilder they was living in real life. Like I
Mm.
never got cheated out of money. Well, I've been cheated out of a lot of money, obviously, but the money that I got cheated out of in R&B was done in a sneaky way. In the gospel world, I had an actual artist that featured on my gospel project call me up crying and saying, you know, like, oh my goodness, they haven't paid me yet, and we going over to Europe tomorrow, so I don't have any money. So I told the guy, like, look, this is what I'm gonna do for you, because I had it at the time. Like, look, out of my personal account, I'm gonna send you what the label was supposed to pay you for being on the song with me. And when they send you your check back, then bam, you just forward that check back to me and we'll be even. This happened in 1999. This is 2021, and this brother has still not reached out to me and gave me that money back. And I
Mm.
hear that this guy runs around with a particular R&B group, and when they have bachelor parties or stripper parties, like he the main ones chasing the strippers around the party and stuff, harder than even the R&B artists. And I know
Dang.
that when I was in the gospel world, like we had rooms, specific rooms on tour, where everybody went that wanted to smoke. You know, like if somebody got a smoking room or whatever, like we all gathered in that one room and smoked our weed. And it's like, I don't think I'm, you know, like I think I'm cool, but I don't think I'm the sexiest guy on the planet or nothing like that. But it's like at the gospel music conventions, due to the fact that it's a lot of guys in gospel music that really don't like girls for real. And they
Right.
have a woman with them, like they even have a wife, and they call it in their circle, they call them beards, because like a beard is something that's supposed to make a man look masculine. So they have
Mm-hmm.
that woman with them called, and they call her a beard because she make him look masculine, because people will be like, oh, I don't think he like girls. And then people will be like the average person, untrained mind, be like, oh my goodness, you see how beautiful his wife is? How could he not like girls? And he got that beautiful wife or whatever. But
Mm.
the wife will only be for show and tell. When they get behind doors, that woman might not get touched for years and months at a time. See what I'm saying? So when they
Right.
would come to the gospel music convention, and I'm not saying that I did it, but I'm saying that basically I put it like this. We went to Seattle, Washington one time with my old singing group. And they said that black guys in Seattle, Washington did not deal with the black girls in Seattle, Washington. So any black guy that come from out of town, you could get your hotel room and you can have chill out with one girl in your room. I'm not gonna get explicit, but chill out. You use imagination. Chill out
Mm-hmm.
with her. Walk her back down to the lobby, and then all right, it's your turn. You come on up and just in and out all night long. And that's basically the same way it is at those gospel music conventions, because a lot of them guys at that gospel music do
Mm.
not like the women. You know, like to the point where I never felt like in the group I was always the low key one. I was always quiet. I was always in the cut. don't get me wrong, I got my fair share of attention, but I was never like the big star out of everything that everybody come running after. The way I was though, I felt like I needed security. Like I felt like me having a bodyguard was a waste of money because the 1 or 2 girls that's gonna come to me and want to kick it with me, I can handle them myself. I could either say thank you, let's hang out, or even say no thank you, I'm not interested, keep going. And it would be no need for security. But at that gospel music workshop that I went to, I felt like the first time I ever felt like I needed a bodyguard, and it wasn't from females. It was from dudes. Like it was like, you don't know, you're a little younger than me, and you're down in Atlanta now, but you wasn't always in Atlanta. But I'm sure you heard of Freaknik. Whereas though they used to have video cameras and you just record the girls as they walk by and record their booties and stuff like that or whatever you like. That's how it was at the gospel music workshop. It was a dude sitting in the lobby of the hotel with video cameras, and you just can feel them looking at you to the point where as though I meet a dude in the lobby and they know I do music. So they come up to me talking just how we talk now. Yo, what's up, brother? I do tracks, blah, blah, like, give me your number. I'll send you some tracks your way. I know you're going to work on another project. I'm like, bet, here's my number right here. Get back up to your room. You get a phone call. I'm like, hello? I'm like, I ain't meet no females today. Who this? It's like, you met me in the lobby. I'm like, I didn't meet any female. Who this? Like, oh, my name Ronald, but they call me Shirley. I'm like, what?
Hell nah.
Like, no.
Hell no.
Nah, man, but that's the way that it went down a lot in that gospel world. So much trickery, so much behind the scenes. Like, no matter how hard a lot of people act in front of everybody, they're a whole different person when them cameras and stuff cut off. Exactly, booty warriors. That matter of fact, my mom had a choir back before I was born. She had a choir. And she always would take one of my uncles who's like 6 feet tall. He's a Marine. Well, he's a retired Marine.
Jiggling the wire.
Take him with her, take the boys to the bathroom. Go, oh, yep, I see it. Oh.
You see it?
Yep, I see it.
Every time it never fails. It never fails. Every time we get here with the gospel industry, what they got going on, it never fails. I was like, watch any minute, right? I said any minute.
Not lying. And we was so smooth before. I ain't even cut my Wi-Fi on because it was flowing so smooth. And then as soon as we see that, there they go, man.
And I mean, it's so very important to bring out because you was a part of that industry. This is a first-hand account. You know what I'm saying? This ain't some stuff that you heard. This ain't something that you heard through the grapevine about the gospel industry. It's a first-hand account. Brothers and sisters, y'all hit the thumbs up on this video. Y'all make sure this video spread because we ain't holding no punches. We telling y'all like it is. Listen, when we're talking about spiritual depravity, and we read from a book that totally, goes all the way against that type of behavior, all the way. I mean, it's deemed abominable in every essence of the word. But the industry that's supposed to be gospel, we talking about gospel. God's word, you know what I'm saying? You see what's going on. Somebody say, is this pre-recorded? No, Bart Shakur, this is live. But when you see this going on in the gospel industry, that shows you that, listen, that ain't where the truth is at. Because, hey, listen, the Most High God nipped that type of behavior in the bud, you know what I'm saying? And it's going unchecked in there. Sexual immorality in general. Because I don't want nobody to think I'm bullying or targeting some demographic. But let me say this. Sexual immorality in general should be nipped in the bud in Christianity. If it, in mainstream Christianity, it should be nipped in the bud.
Right.
It's astounding every time we bring this out that we got to deal with this. But no, man, that sounds like a real that sounds like a culture shock. I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. You getting out of the secular world. You getting over there, trying to do, what's best for you. Follow the Lord, because it seems like when the Most High pull us out of something, He give us the conviction, and then He start reeling us. He don't take us. It's like He don't take us right to the, right to the source all the way, but He pull us through and He show us how deep the rabbit hole gets, and that's what that's kind of how I'm seeing it from your perspective. Like you were saying, like, yo, this not just the secular world, not just the group that I'm a part of. I'm not saying you going against the group or anything like that, but not just my record label, but the whole music industry is evil.
Right.
It's unchecked sin. It's unrepentant. It's unrepentant behavior. It's hypocrisy. The whole industry, and that's just, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What else was you experiencing, brother, with the gospel industry? If you mind expounding a little bit more, hopefully they'll let you.
Nah, man, it was just like so different from what you would think it was, and it's like it's about a show. Because like I was thinking, like I have a testimony. I've never been a dancer or a showman or anything like that, but I sing and I write and I talk. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the label that I was on, like they brought me in. They was like, you have to dance, you have to step. And I know that there's been like some quartet gospel singers. Like it's a guy. His group is called the Spiritual QCs. I think his name Doc Williams, and he stand what they call it, like you just stand flat footed and sing. And that's how it like basically like Luther in the R&B world. Like Luther, and you never seen Luther do no whole bunch of choreography.
Right.
Like he can stand there and he deliver his songs.
Right.
And it's powerful. But they so bent on because the label that I was signed to is the same label that Kirk Franklin is signed to. So, they have their flagship artist is Kirk Franklin, and that was what was so successful for him. The fact that he was able to merge basically the street with the gospel or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like his music, I went to Africa and they played Stomp in the club that we was in Africa. So it's like with the formula, that's the formula that worked for them. So that's the only formula that they knew. So when I come along, I don't do no dancing. Like I just wanted to sing my songs and minister through word to the people. So they telling me I got to dance, and they was basically telling me they was getting ready to send me home if I didn't start dancing. So once I, made it clear that that wasn't my strong suit, then they just gave me some dances, and the dances that they put me with was, they was different from me. Basically, put it that way.
Right.
And it's like these dances, these people will offer you to keep coming. Like we gonna have a meeting up in the room, and we gonna lay hands on each other. And all that.
Hell no, you ain't.
No, me. If they see you like relating to a young lady after the concert or whatever, like it don't even have to be you trying to get with her or trying to get her back to your room and stuff like that, because like that's something that I was very careful about, because like I didn't know, like that's when punk first came out around that time and stuff like that, and my biggest fear was somebody pulling up on me saying that he not for real. He only doing this because he ain't get what he wanted out of the secular world or whatever. So he just over here trying to get 2 checks or over here trying to capitalize.
So you was on guard. You was on guard as far as dealing with a lot of the young ladies, because you ain't want them to think that your heart wasn't in the right place.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like the escapades and things that I probably could have gotten into, I purposely didn't get into because of that things. But it's like even just having a regular conversation with a young lady, like these guys would act like they would be offended that I'm talking to her, and they say, "It's time to go, Doc. It's time to go. It's time to go." I'm like, "No, man, you go ahead back to the hotel. I'll find my way back. Don't worry about me. I'm all right." You see what I'm saying? It's just so different. And not even, like you said, not just to get on one particular act that people was doing. It's just like all type of stuff. Like people smoking weed at the hotels and stuff like that. And then when they had like parties, whole choirs would go down and put on thong bikinis or whatever and go down to the beach and frolic around and stuff like that. And then the next day, those would be the same exact people that's falling out and crying. And I remember one of the leaders of one of the choirs said to me, you know how they get, like, we know what speaking tongues is according to the Bible. It's speaking in a foreign tongue that somebody who might be, like, say if you and I together and
actual
one of us
language.
function right, and we start speaking in Spanish or something like that, and neither one of us speak Spanish, and somebody Spanish come along and understand what we're talking about. That's what tongues is. They would get a circle and join hands before we went on stage and start speaking in them funny tongues, them shut up on the car, shut up on the Honda, and all of that type of stuff that they was doing all that. And I would just stand there looking, and I wouldn't be really scared to touch their hands, because I don't know what's making them act like that. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. And they would be like, well, I said, I don't feel it. The one lady who led one of the choir, she's like, it's not about what you feel. This is a corporate praise. That means everybody was to participate, and they like look at you like the bad one because you're not feeling that. When in all actuality, that's the spirit of wisdom and the spirit of the Most High letting you know that something ain't right there for real. You know,
Right.
but then
Real.
you feel like you the bad one because you don't want to participate in that. It was real wild, man. It was to the point where when it came time, I was contractually obligated to go back to the group and do another project. But the way that they was acting in that gospel world, it's like I almost felt like it was more normal back in the R&B world. So it's like as much as my spiritual convictions was saying, don't go do another R&B album. My spirit was also like, shoot, it can't be no worse than it was
Right.
when it was over here on this gospel side for real. And they
Right.
also had something where they say it's your season. So it's like no matter how talented you are and how good of music you bring to the table, until whoever the higher ups on that side decide that it's your season and it's your turn to be looked at and your turn to get some attention on that side, nobody's not even gonna pay you no mind. But
Right.
once they see the season, that's when everybody will show you some love. But before that, like they teach you like in the Bible how they used to treat the lepers or whatever. Like they treat you like unclean, like they ain't even supposed to touch you. Like people will sneak up to you in a lobby. Like when you could do a concert, you could sing in front of a room full of people, and nobody would hardly even move or clap or anything. But then as soon as they get out in the hallway where they feel like everybody's not looking at them, then them same people will come and want pictures with you and want to shake your hand and want to give you their number or ask you to pray for them or pray with you and stuff like that. But in private, but in front of everybody, they keep that same stone face like, oh no, we don't like him. You don't say we
Right.
don't
So
like him. No, we don't
so
like
it's
him.
so it's definitely cliques and it's definitely groups in the gospel industry. And I guess it's safe to say, not we ain't throwing no names and nothing like that. I seen certain names being brought up in the chat, but I'm gonna ask you this from your perspective. Do you think it's safe to say that if you don't go behind some of those doors, and how do I want to word this? And conduct certain acts behind closed doors.
I was told
Is it
that it's
safe?
something called retreats, where they say
What's
they
that?
all go there and lay hands on each other at the retreat. And it's like if you don't go to the retreat, then you don't get to
You
the
don't
next level, whatever the next level is.
right.
And safe to say, I never went to a retreat, and I never made too many levels, and that's why I went on and jumped on back out there. I said, man, ain't no better over here than it was over on the other side. So I might
Right.
as well go ahead and take the way I was at, for real.
Right. Yeah, true indeed. So how about in the secular realm? Let me ask you the same thing for the sake of the viewers. And me and you, we didn't already discuss some of this. But how about in the secular realm? Do you believe that, or have you witnessed any of that like clicks go behind the door, all of a sudden this person is popping. This person they getting spins on the radio, and you know this person before and you know them after, or you kind of was affiliated before and after. Like, hey, something ain't quite adding up here. You know what I'm saying? Have not naming anybody or anything, but just have you experienced that?
Man, all I can say is that I experienced somebody who used to be like relatively close to me, and they told me one time that they went to a party, and they didn't like go into detail with what they saw or whatever, but they started naming a bunch of names of people that they saw at this party, and they was like every time they saw a person, they was like, "What happens here stays here." That's what the person kept telling them, and the person never told me about anything that possibly happened to him. But all I know is after that, the person started acting very weird. Like they would roam through the hallways of the hotel in a undershirt and box of drawers or whatever, and knock on doors of other people talking about I need a friend, I need somebody to talk to and stuff like that. And the person never did nothing like that before. And people would come to me because they knew that I knew the person and we was cool. And it's more like, what's up with your boy? Like, why you acting like that then? You see what I'm saying? And it's like I didn't have any answers because I wasn't there. All I know that it was shortly after they told me about that party that they went to. Like, mind you, they didn't go into any details, tell me what happened at the party, what they saw at the party, or anything like that. But shortly after that, they never acted the same again. Like they was always very different and always like very out there, where so
So
they wasn't like that before.
they was just never the same. They was spiritually
Right.
deprived, like
Right.
like a man that's been maimed or neutered or something. And see, that's why we talk about spiritual depravity right now, because I guess it's safe to say that what Cat Williams was saying about the parties, they pretty much rituals, like on some Eyes
That's
Wide
what I
Shut.
thought about.
They
That's what
go
I thought
Professor.
about when he
Yeah.
said it. When I seen the Cat Williams, I was like, hold up, this person
Mhm.
told me about the party. So who
Right.
knows if they saw the same? Who knows if they was even at the same party? For all we know, but it's like right after that party, that person was never the same person that I recognized ever again. You know,
Man. And
definitely.
that's what and that's what a lot of brothers and sisters got to understand with that industry. Um, it's like this, right? You got all these platforms. You got Spotify, you got Apple Music, you got YouTube, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got all these outlets that you can go to put out your music. It's like, do you really think it's worth it to try to be the best? I mean, the number one artist in the world. Do you really think it's worth it? You have someone right here who was a part of the industry that's giving you firsthand accounts, not something he heard, not something he seen on TV, but he was there. He was there in the 90s. He was there. This man had been side by side with Biggie Smalls. He'd have been side by side with a lot of notable figures. Um, and people who didn't got their lives taken away, murdered, and things of that nature. This brother experienced all of these things firsthand. And I just want you to share some of the I would say some of the notable moments in your career where you got some knowledge or wisdom from some of these artists that not only passed on that were actually in the industry who said certain things to you that helped you in the industry, or or people that you met with that maybe no longer here or still here that were just good brothers. Because I mean, my thing is, if you ain't got nothing nice to say about nobody, we ain't gonna do it on this channel. But
Right.
because I want to give people some balance. Like, I don't want people to walk away with this thinking that everybody in
Oh,
the
they
industry,
just hate. They sitting on there hate.
yeah, and everybody in the industry is sickos, weirdos, and they all like undercover and not like, nah. I mean, is it some? I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna give you the mic and let you kind of expound on it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, like me, when I was in it, like I was naive. I ain't know nothing. So I will say that, like I definitely still enjoy artistry, and somebody that did give me wisdom was KC from Jodeci, which is always our favorite group. Like he gave me wisdom, even that he knows some stuff to even to where we at, because I was telling him about, when I first come into the truth and stuff like that. And he was telling me, like, man, when the Most High got his hands on you, it's only but so far he'll let you go. Like he'll let you get to the door or something like that. It's just like a dog trying to
Mm,
get out of the yard that he belong in. He's like, he got that leash around your neck. And just when you try to get out that yard, he
mm,
yank you right back. And that's
mm-hmm.
true. That's so true what happened to me. Like the Most High, I prayed and he let me get into that industry, but he only let me get so far. As soon as he saw me getting a little bit too far, seeing me start dipping my head indoors where as though that I might not supposed to been looking in there, or dealing with people that I might not supposed to been looking at or whatever like that, yank me
Mm-hmm.
right back out of it every single time. Even to
Right.
this day, if I was to try to go back out there today or tomorrow, I believe that because I hope that in His grace and mercy that He would yank me back. But sometimes, like you said, like we said earlier, when you know better, He'd be like, "Oh, he know better." So whatever happened to him this point, with the book say, "Who will pity a snake charmer that go
Mm,
in with snakes and then get bit?" Nobody gonna
mm,
feel sorry because he
mm.
already know better. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't even try to tiptoe on it nowadays, because I know better. But when I didn't know better, he surely brought me right back. And I give always respect to the brother KC for giving me that knowledge, because he was in it way longer than me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
like, that's one of the realer brothers that I was able to keep in contact with. The brother Next, the brother RL from Next was always like a good brother, always giving good nuggets and gems. They was actually younger than us, and I remember I used to give him nuggets, because like I remember people, like I said before, people always think that the rappers is the ones that's always thorough and ready to fight and all that, but them dudes Next from Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
every party they did when they first came out got shut down because they ended up fighting. Not even people end up fighting in the party; they end up fighting. Because
Right.
anybody said anything, oh they soft, oh they R&B sing. Okay, we soft, but take this to your job real quick. So like
Yeah.
those guys, they was always real guys, man. And it's like you hate to say it, but like a lot of the realest ones be the ones that no matter how talented they are, like no matter how good they sing and stuff like that, you look at it and you like, why they didn't go further? Why they not bigger than what they are? Like they sing better than all these people that's out here now. You feel me? Man, they bigger than all these people. Why they not better bigger than them? They better than all of them. And that's because they probably that's the ones that I feel like still got integrity, still got their souls intact and stuff like that, and just really just there. Like what the girl Ebony say on Players Club, I'm just here to dance. So the ones who just here to sing, you ain't gonna get as far as the ones that's here to do everything. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people look at it negatively when a person didn't get super big or they not super mega stars because of how good they can sing. But I look at them people in a positive light because I'm like, all right, it's something that you didn't do because you had the talent. So the fact that you ain't get further than what you got, that make me feel like you still got some of your soul left. You see what I'm saying? And that's more important than anything else. Because like you said when we first started, before I joined in with you, I heard you say, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So it's like the people that's gaining the whole world probably don't got no soul, but the people who didn't gain the whole world and just making just enough to feed their family or making just enough to pay their bills and stuff like that, they probably the ones that still got their souls intact for real. So I give respect out to them people before I give respect out to the ones who everybody else think is the greats and the quote unquote goats, because we already know that the goat is the devil. The people calling themselves a goat, we know what the real goat is.
Right. That Baphomet. You know
exactly. So if you ain't the goat, then you probably is the one that still got some soul left for real, and somebody can still look in your eyes and see that they talking to a human being instead of looking into your eyes and seeing all black or seeing just a soulless, just like that.
Absolutely. Now, everybody in the chat, if y'all want to open up for Q&A with Brother Woodrow, unfortunately, I don't have the call-in number right now, but whatever you want to ask this brother, I'll post it right here in the chat on the screen. And, because I'm pretty sure people are just, they want to know. They want to know everything you experience with this industry.
That's cool.
Especially in regards to the spiritual depravity. If we can hone in on what some of the spiritual things going on in this industry, because looking at it, man, it's just a very ominous presence with this industry. And listen, all the death proves that something is wrong. All these artists just dropping like flies, and some of the things that's going on. But if y'all want to ask Brother Woodrow in-depth questions, because I asked what I wanted to know, y'all go ahead and fire away.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. I see some questions coming up. Let me see. Let me put that one on there. How can I find the right artist to listen to? I'm gonna allow Woodrow to answer that. He's gonna be dealing with the Q&A for the most part.
Man, just pray. Like when you hear music of somebody, like pray about it. Ask the Most High, is this somebody that I should be listening to? And the more you read, the more your spiritual eyes and ears will be open. And when you hear them say certain words, you hear them say certain stuff, you be like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't what I need to listen to. And I'll be the first to admit I'm guilty sometimes because certain songs is from way back still got sentimental value to me. And I'll be sitting there listening to it. And sometimes I catch myself singing stuff. And I'll be like, oh, hold on, what I just say? Like, oh, this one I got to delete off my playlist.
Right,
man. It's a journey. It's a journey. Even to this day, I'm still learning and growing myself with that. So, and definitely we got truth music artists such as the Brother New Breed, such as the rap league that's coming up. Let them know about the Brew League, like the brothers and sisters that's going to be in the Brew League. They giving intentionally good music. Like they're going out their way, digging on scriptures and get music that is good and edifying for us to listen to for real. So definitely check out that stuff. And sometimes, trust and believe, some days that's all I listen to. Like you don't even feel the urge to go back and listen to none of that stuff once you expose yourself to that. Some of that good truth music, man. Get some of that up in you. Me and my brothers, the Shadows, got some stuff coming. My brother Dean Judah that's watching right now. I'm going to try to get him, try hard. He's a great producer out on the West Coast. I'm going to do my best to get him to dig back in his stash and see if he got some tracks to send a brother way, man, for real.
Hey, we got another question here. That's a fact. Delana Tate says, did you feel afraid sometimes?
I did feel afraid, but more than anything, I've always been like from elementary school on. When I was in elementary school, I wore glasses and I had buck teeth. Like I looked like Steve, just like Steve Urkel before it was a Steve Urkel. So it's like I never really had a lot of friends. So it's like I was always by myself. The only thing that made people, gravitate to me was the fact that I did sing. Once they heard me
Mhm.
sing, then they'd be like, "Oh, he can sing." Like people that was like the bullies in school, like was ready trying to jump me or whatever. Then they like, "Oh no, he gonna be somebody one day. Leave him alone." You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
when you get used to being by yourself, you feel like, what do I have to lose? Like, ain't nobody really like me no way. So it's like, how is it gonna make it worse if they don't like me now? At least they got a good reason. At least now I'm standing for the Most High and I'm standing for the truth. So it's like it's better to be alienated or ostracized for righteousness' sake than just
Mhm.
for no reason at all. So it's like it do get scary sometimes, but at the same time, I seen somebody say when like somebody said they was like going to school and everybody was bullying them, and then they brought their big brother to school one day and everybody's like, "Oh, that's your big brother," and
Mhm.
nobody messed with him again. So now I feel like the Most High is my big brother. Like it's sad to say, but I lost my mom and my dad. But in Psalm 27, they say, "When my mother and father forsake thee, then the Most High will take me up." So it's like
Mhm.
I'm directly to them now. Like I can't call my mother when I need some help or a couple dollars. I can't call my dad when I need some help or a couple dollars. All I can call on directly is the Most High. So knowing that that's my big brother, that kind of
Mhm.
take a lot of the fear.
Con, con.
Like I ain't so scared. I might get a little shook, but when I pray and I see and realize He sent me a sign, let me know He's still listening to me, then it's only so scared that I get.
Oh, praises. Someone says, do you think
Yeah,
artists fake their deaths like Pac?
yeah, yeah.
Boom. That was a.
It's
I
a
didn't.
channel.
I didn't
It's a
expect you to
channel,
say
yo.
that.
I don't know
You
if you down with the channel called Industry Hoax.
industry hoax.
These
Yeah,
videos make so much sense. Like I
that
wasn't there,
brother.
so I can't say affirmatively or definitively, but the stuff that they bring to the table makes so much sense that
Mm.
you can't just dismiss it. You can't just throw it away and say, "Oh
Yeah,
no, that ain't."
he definitely be doing some investigative journalist work. I ain't gonna lie
Mm-hmm,
about that. And
mm-hmm.
he makes you question.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm totally convinced that they're faking their deaths, but I do know that from what I see, there are a lot of plants. There are a lot of industry
yeah,
plants.
yeah. And a
But
lot of
hey,
stuff don't
it
add up.
could be, and a lot of stuff don't add up. But
Yeah. Yeah, we
man,
can't say we none of us here can say
yeah.
100% like yeah, my nigga done that or nah, he didn't do that. But I definitely do consider it. I do put it in the back of my mind. Like I'm not so quick to believe everything that's the of quote unquote official story. I don't believe every official story.
Right, right. Taylor B says, "How did you deal with judgment from leaving the group?"
I'm still dealing with judgment from leaving the group like every other day. And it's so funny that like I've been gone from the group since 2008 when I officially last left. When they did the unsung for the group, which aired the beginning of last year, around this time last year, they created a whole narrative like they behind my back because I didn't know. Like I wouldn't have participated. I wasn't gonna participate in it, but they convinced me to participate. But then they did like a whole smear campaign for a whole hour, or however long unsung was, making me the scapegoat or the reason why the group wasn't successful after I left. When the whole time that I was in the group, I wasn't allowed to sing many leads. I wasn't allowed to have much camera time or anything like that. So I still don't understand how the person that wasn't singing no leads, wasn't doing much, is the reason why the group wasn't successful afterwards. But they
It was the
painted me
spiritual.
for
It was spiritual. That's why.
that part too, because it's a
It's
scripture that say, and I know that scripture is not for private interpretation, but it's
mhm,
very ironic to me that it's a scripture in Proverbs that said, "Where there's no wood, the fire goes out." And the
mhm,
dragon, which is the symbol of the group, breathes fire. So it's no wood, which is me. The
mhm.
fire went out. And hey,
Absolutely.
yeah. So either way, it's just like the when you doing what the Most High wants you to do, you kind of can't be but so concerned with how people feel about you. And I'm human, and I'm also an empath. Like I definitely feel very deeply. Like I could go in a room, or like if somebody was to call me, their feeling, if they felt good, I would automatically feel good. If they
Mhm,
feel bad or they feel down, I would feel a little down. So I am an empath. So I'll be lying to you if I say I didn't care at all. But at
mhm.
the same time, like I try to make myself look at the bigger picture. So it's like, what's more important? Like somebody said to me when I told them when I was saying I was going to leave the group, who would you rather? I said, I don't want to leave and have everybody mad at me because they feel like I made their favorite group not be anymore. And the person said to me, who would you rather have mad at you, them people or the Most High? And when he put it to me like that, that's basically what helps me to deal with that, because trust and believe, they'll still jump on the Breakfast Club. Certain members will jump on the Breakfast Club and throw shots at me and throw my name out there and negative things and stuff like that. So I mean, it's almost like a compliment at this point, because like I work a 9 to 5, you know, so it's like, every time they say my name on something, that make people that wasn't even thinking about me think about me. And not most of the time, whenever they say it, right behind that, I get a couple phone calls like, hey, my homeboy getting married, my homegirl getting married. How much you charge to sing at their wedding? So it's almost like the advertisement from them. So,
yeah, blessing in disguise.
Exactly. What they say, you meant me harm, but the Most High meant it for good. That's good. Yep, that's what happened with Joseph. So, that's basically what I look at it as.
Absolutely. B. Lee asks, do you feel commercialized R&B agenda is to evoke lust? I kind of want to get on part of that answer as well. Because I mean, if you don't mind, if I just interject on that, let me just say this. Yeah, Brother Woodrow, he was speaking in regards to the Christian church and how, you got basically a lot of men not loving women. Lust is not necessarily a bad thing. Let me put that out there. The Christian church, they've kind of like manipulated that word. Lust is really just desire. If you desire a woman, if you desire her body, even Solomon and King James, if you go into extra biblical text and poetry, because King James didn't just authorize the Bible, he authorized a lot of poetry as well, where he's speaking about the bosom of a woman, her shape. There's nothing wrong with a man. Right. There's nothing wrong with a man desiring a woman. So, I mean, it's a time and place for everything. Like if you playing certain songs to get your woman in the mood, y'all together, y'all having y'all little drink, sipping a little wine, enjoying each other's company. That's cool. But what we have, with in my opinion, with mainstream R&B is basically being it's more objectifying. You got one of the number one songs is Throat Baby. So it's like, there's no serenation, there's no like in between. It's just all objective. Like hit it, pass her on. It ain't nothing to me, and it's no kind of passion, no kind of love, no kind of balance to it. And that would be the issue, in my opinion. But I'll allow the brother, because it seems like Woodrow got a scripture for y'all too. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and go in.
Nah, I totally agree. And even like when you think about with the food and stuff, it say with the tithes, it say whatever whatsoever thou soul lusteth after. So that just means you feel for something. That means you have an urge or an inkling that you want something for real. So like you said, there's no sin. Lust is not necessarily a bad thing. It's when you like take somebody, like you just said, like when you take somebody and you don't have no desire to be with this woman. Like all you want to do is smash and pass or pump and dump and stuff like that. That's when it becomes a bad thing. Like you don't want any companionship with that woman or anything like that. And I was going to give the scripture Proverbs 5:19, which I was alluding to earlier, but I didn't know exactly where it was. It's talking about your woman. It said, "Let her be as the loving hind and the pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and thou be always ravished with her love." And it says in the New Living Translation, "She is a loving deer, a graceful doe. Let her breast satisfy you always, and may you always be captivated with her love." So that means you love her right back. Like this is somebody that you care about, not somebody like soon as you get finished, you're like, oh, get off me, get out of here, whatever. That's what a lot of music pushes. And it also pushes the one thing that I have a big problem with, that it pushes. It always makes us want somebody else's woman. It always make a man want to commit adultery, because like, as we know, bro, like there's no sin in a man having not some more than one woman, but it's the bad thing is when a man wants a woman that's already spoken for, a woman that's already in a relationship, because that's really the biblical definition of adultery. And you hear every song a rapper talking about F yuppie, take yuck. Even R&B singers, like you got the Dream singing, "I love your girl," not "I love my girl," not "I love this over here that's single and want me, but no, I want your girl, dude. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And that's what leads us towards a lot of making us just want to do the wrong. It perverts a lot of things that could be righteous because there's nothing wrong, like you said, with a man desiring a woman, but when a man desires a woman that already belongs to another man who is already spoken for a relationship.
Absolutely. Hey, something is going on with your audio, I don't know what just happened. There, yeah.
Let me see if I can switch to my Wi-Fi real quick. I hope it don't cut me off. Let me see if I can switch to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And it might,
no problem.
It might be more helpful. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. I'm gonna go ahead and elaborate what you were saying. But no, the Ak is 100%, man. He's 100%. And when you look at it, they make it seem real fly to mash on another man's wife. I mean, they make it seem like that's the most, that's the biggest accomplishment you can never make is to get another man's wife. I got your girl this. I'm riding with your chick that. And brothers be really losing their lives behind that. A lot of these rappers be dying behind women too, and a lot of brothers in the streets be dying behind women too, because we don't have that respect factor to get off another man's wife, man. Like it's too many women out here who are single, and that's why the Most High God made it that way. That's why the Most High God made 10 women to every man, because listen, as men naturally you're going to desire to have more than one woman, especially if you're a black man. More than likely you're pre-genetically disposed to deal with more than one. So if you haven't, that's why God created things perfectly. The creator made it a certain way so you wouldn't be messing with other guys' wife and all that. It has to be respect, but no doubt about that. You really quantified that.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Good. It was. I needed to click onto the Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. I didn't know if it was going to cut me off. That's why I didn't do it earlier.
Oh, no problem.
You're absolutely right. It's like
it's going in and out, but just go ahead. It's coming in and out. Go ahead.
It's stuff that we are allowed to do, but it's like when we do it the right way, we get blessed. But when we do it the wrong way, it'll be a curse. And the enemy is so tricky, even with food. We could be eating some chicken and corn chowder, and then you read the ingredients and they done put some shrimp and some pork and stuff in there. So it's like they always find ways. Like it's a scripture in, I think it's in Judith.
It got you. It got the sound. The sound is going out again. It's not like it sounds. It almost sounds like you on auto tunes.
Oh no.
Yeah, it'll let you talk for a little bit, then it almost sounds like auto tunes a little bit.
That's crazy. You want to hang up and try to call right back and see if it's better?
Now it's like kind of clear. Yeah, they don't want us to get too deep into it. That's the issue. I'm gonna let you.
We ain't even talking about the church people no more. We talking about something else. Let us rock, YouTube.
You know how they go.
Yeah,
man. Somebody say, "Is it the internet slowing down?" I'm not sure. On my end, can y'all hear me clearly? Put a 1 in the chat if my audio is coming through good, or is it both our audios messing up? Because I seen people just say audio. Somebody said YouTube is censoring. I mean, we didn't got the rough parts out. We in Q&A right now.
We cool now. We coolin'. Let us rock, YouTube.
I think you good, Og. If y'all got more questions for Woodrow, we going all the way up to the 2-hour mark. That's how long I had panned out for this particular stream. We already at 1:43. So if y'all got questions for Woodrow, go ahead and ask the brother. And if the audio is bearable, we can push through. I see ones in the chat, so they're hearing mine. Nakia Pink says distraction to throw off the message. Y'all on point. Okay. All praises.
Thank you, sister.
Yep, they tried it, man. We already know some of the talking points that they start jingling wires. I don't know who this weirdo is behind the scenes censoring everybody's videos and manipulating the views and I don't know why they got so much time to do that. And I don't know who it is, but this guy behind the box, this Jack in the Box need to be stopped for real. All right. Is there any more questions y'all got for the brother Woodrow? Let's see. Somebody said your Baltimore accent is undefeated. Facts. It's the DMV up in here.
You know what's crazy? I used to try to cover it up for so long, but then when I saw Nelly come out and do his whole thing for St. Louis and introduce everybody to his words and dirty and all that stuff, and I was like, man, well, if I ever get to speak again, I'm gonna talk like how everybody talked back in my hometown too, and put on for my city just like how he did, you know?
For real. And you back to normal too, Ak. Everything seems to be
Good.
working.
Hallelujah.
Oh, praises. Someone asks, is the Illuminati real, Woodrow?
I mean, I've heard. I definitely wouldn't say no, but I will say that I've never personally experienced it. And I think that it was because of my convictions. And same thing we said earlier, like people don't want you to be in something because it was other people that might have had access to it, but they didn't want me to have access to it. So they pitched the whole thing for me. He's like, he's the angel of the group. He's the Gabriel of the group. Because what I heard is in order to get invited by them, you have to do things like disrespect a picture of the who they believe to be Jesus, or spit on a cross, or break the cross in half and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh no, he'll never do nothing like that." So, like what DMX said one time, like he said, you got a real dude, and you got somebody that's a bully, and then you got somebody that they look like might be a chump. They'll try them first, but the person who they think is another real dude just like them, it's like it ain't even worth the headache. So it's like the fact that my Christian beliefs to the point of what I knew at that point was so strong, and everybody was talking about that. That was so strong in me that I felt like the enemy was like, it ain't even worth the headache to try to get this dude over here. Leave him where he at, you know.
Facts.
And as a result, I think that could be part of the reason why I never did make it. But so far, well, I only got 2 seconds in every video, and at least the songs that I led on was on the album, and people say that they was their favorite, so they bought the CD because they heard it. But I never got actually a single or video where as though I was the focal point. The best thing I ever got, and y'all go on and look that up, is the BT Celebration of Gospel, and we sung a tribute to the Winans, which is my favorite gospel group. We did one of their songs, and we did the gospel song that's on our last CD, and I actually was very instrumental in that. That's like the most I ever got seen, and it was in praising the Most High. So I don't think that was by accident, for real. So yeah, that's the most light I ever got. But outside of that, I was always like pushed to the back the whole time because I wasn't willing to do certain things. Not saying nothing about nobody else, but the fact that my convictions and stuff like that, I think that is part of what kept me from being super successful in the industry.
All praises, all praises. Abuno says, what do you think of artists mass producing music these days?
I like the fact that people are creative and they going in and doing more stuff, but at the same time, I don't like the fact that it's so cookie cutter. Like back in the day, you'll hear a song come on, and like say one of your songs. When you come on, I know that's Bree. I know that's my brother Bree. But like these people in hip hop, you don't know one from the next because they making everybody. It's like as soon as one person is successful in doing something or one style, everybody gets that same style, even down to the way they dress, even down to the way that they look. You see what I'm saying? Like everybody's just the same. It's like a bunch of clones and drones. There's no personality. There's no feeling amongst anybody. There's very few artists that you can hear as soon as they come on and you know that that's who it is, or you could just look at them and know that's who that is because they all look the same. Everybody got the same. Everybody with the same tight pants. Everybody just look like the next person.
Monkey see, monkey do. Even the sound, is the same.
Yeah. I just miss the creativity.
Yeah, for sure. I actually had a question for you, Woodrow. Have you heard Meg Thee Stallion and none other than Maxine Waters, bro? Maxine Waters. She put the stamp of approval on Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion with the WAP video. Did you know that?
I found it out by watching one of your broadcasts, for real. And I was shocked when I heard it because wasn't she amongst the ones that was giving Tupac the blues back in the day? About how inappropriate his stuff was. So for her to please these artists that's doing, the same thing that she talk about, and to me it's even worse because like if a man say something about a woman, that's one thing, but for a woman to say stuff about other women and try to encourage other women to act a certain way, and for her to put the cosign on that definitely threw me for a loop. Like I ain't know what to make of that. It definitely Yeah.
And that just goes to show, and I wanted to point that out because we're talking about a woman of age and stature that was in the ranks of Dionne Warwick and the late and great C. Dolores Tucker. We're talking about a woman who's supposed to forefront and spearhead this battle against misogynist rap lyrics. But I'm bringing this out because listen, when you got men who speak on it, I'm gonna need a lot of women to get out of their feelings. When a lot of you see brothers like Woodrow and myself, coming out and saying, listen, sisters, you got to do better. You can't display yourself that way. Your image is everything. Your image, you represent your whole nation. It just is what it is. When brothers hold you to that standard, look, now you represent your whole nation. When brothers hold you to that standard, don't be mad at the brothers when you don't have any sisters stepping up and doing it. You don't have nobody coming out from as women doing it. So, and if you're a woman listening and watching and you're articulate, you're well spoken, you're a woman who's catching this broadcast, I oblige you. I mean, listen, somebody got to cry and say, listen, this got to stop, ladies. You got to have integrity and dignity, because at the end of the day, listen, it leaves you vulnerable at the end. And people make the style. She came out of her mouth and was like, I know that I'm doing the right thing because Maxine Waters said I am.
Wow.
And we need a voice of reason. So you sisters who watching this particular video, I want you to take heed to this, because listen, like the stylistic song go, people make the world go round. And you see that you see that as a prime example of what's going on in Texas. People make the world go round. So it's up to you, the people. And this is why they try to seclude these videos. They try to manipulate them, manipulate the numbers, shadow ban and all of that, because they're afraid of influence right now. They don't give a damn about a title. I don't care if you bishop, deacon, elder. It doesn't matter what you titled yourself. They care about influence. So put the right influence out there. Put the right energy out there. I just wanted to put that up.
Get you. Let me just say one thing off of what you just said. It's like with the ladies, and I tell any lady that I'm in contact with on a regular basis, they's like, hey, y'all guys be liking these girls and y'all be liking their pictures and stuff like that. It's like, guys, like we men by nature are visual creatures. We like to look at it, but there's nobody that we want on our team. There's not nobody that we want as our lady. And when you know, like that's all it is. It's like a little quick high. A little 5-second high, like you look at it like, that look nice, like them cakes look real squeezable, or them bullets look like motorboat in between them or whatever. But it's like that's not nobody that you want for your girl. Exactly. It's not nobody that you want to start no family with, or even nobody that you want people to see you in public with, for real. It's like ladies with virtue, like y'all sisters. I know the sisters that's listening to you, brother Bree, because you give them the real. Sisters with virtue, don't feel discouraged when y'all see brothers liking their pictures, or when y'all see a brother, say such and such bad or whatever like that. It's a difference between being bad that you want to be with and a bad that you just want to look at. So don't be discouraged. Y'all see them like Jasmine Sullivan, her whole project called Hotels and stuff like that, and she sing the song where as though it say hoes be winning and stuff like that. Like, man, them hoes not really winning. Like they winning, they turning necks, turning heads, breaking necks or whatever like that. But hate to say it, like the guy Canvas Samuel would say, a lot of them hoes gonna die alone. Because ain't nobody gonna be with them. They might pump some babies up in them, but they ain't gonna want to be. They ain't gonna want them for their woman, and build no kingdom with them.
And that's just the utter truth, though, right there. Because brothers don't marry harlots. They just don't. I mean, it's just, they don't do that. Now they may deal with them and discard them, but they're not marrying no harlot. And that's what Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion want all women to be. Like they leading. Like it was one video.
Notice Cardi Murray. But she put the image out there for everybody else to follow, but she probably not living like that behind doors. It's just the image she's putting out there for people to follow that don't know no better.
Right. And it was this one video I seen her playing one of her songs, and her daughter walks into the kitchen. She turned the damn song off. And that shows you they don't mind leading you. They don't mind leading other impressionable minds, but they already know how demonic, evil, and wicked the music is. And I'm not mad at Cardi B. She did right by turning that trash off around her daughter. It's already bad enough you leading a whole generation of young women straight to hell with your music, straight to loneliness and insecurity and pain and depravity and all these negative things you leading these women to. But damn it, don't do it to your children. I mean, how low can you go? So don't, you know, and we speak, and let me say this as well. The reason why we're basically speaking about women right now, because the music industry doesn't seem to be a male dominated industry anymore. It really doesn't. When you go out, all you hear, even down south here in Atlanta, you hear all of the masculine instrumentals. Like you hear the drums, the kicks, everything. It'll sound like some raw gutter down south. You think Soulja Slim about to get on a song, and it'll be a woman. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, damn. And they just empowering that. They're giving you that energy, that feminine energy. So that's why it's so important that we hone in a little bit and speaking in regards to women, because there's a lot more women getting record deals right now than a lot of these brothers. And when these brothers do get them, they getting taken out expeditiously. They done. They get their deal a month, 2 months, 3 months later, they getting murdered, because that's the most dangerous thing to be right now as a black man that's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? That's a dangerous profession. You don't see country music, you know, even R&B. You got R&B members joining gangs now, you know, Tory Lanez, Chris Brown and all that. Like, it don't matter if you are. Thank you for the $20 contribution, James Petro. Highly appreciate you. Thank you for donating to the work. But it's real out here, man. So ladies are consumers, the number one consumer. So ladies, stop buying the garbage. You want to hear some positive female artists, and if you are a positive female artist, you can listen, move your music to the Brew League as well and get yourself some exposure. I want to hear more from the ladies. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not disappointed in the lack of conviction that a lot of our women seeing what was going on, and actually being active will help us solve this, because we can't do it on our own. We get labeled misogynist, sexist all damn day. We take the blunt of all the aggression. We need y'all help from the righteous women. Proverbs 31 woman. That's all I'm saying.
And it's all done in love. Like when we say what we saying, that's love. We saying what we would like to see happen and would like to be better. We not jumping on ladies. We not calling y'all out your names and nothing like that. We saying what we saying out of love. And even back in the day, ladies have always been the number one consumers, because even the music that guys make a lot of times is stuff that we know that the ladies was going to want to hear. If we couldn't make the ladies bob their head to it, it don't matter what we like, because we had songs that we like, and it wouldn't go nowhere on the charts. But as soon as the ladies love it, that thing is number one.
Somebody asked you an interesting question here. I'm gonna see. Chasey Shepherd says, Woodrow, are you a fan of Kanye West and him converting to Christianity with his music? Thoughts?
I was a fan of the original Kanye West, the college dropout Kanye West, because I felt like he was really onto something really spiritual back in those days. I feel like somewhere along the way, he ended up joining up or getting joined up with some people, whoever they may be, and just changed his views, because the stuff that he talks now is so very different than the stuff that he was talking at first. And I really can't even wrap my mind around it one way or the other. But I still listen to the college dropout and the songs that's on that. He said, and the one, what's the one? You make me smile with my heart. What's your addiction? Is it money? Is it girls? Is it weed? Because they go with Apostle Paul when he said when he would do good, he do evil. Like that song to me lines up with those scriptures. Right. That song lines up to that. So that's like one of the ones I keep on repeat. And the one, Everything I'm Not made me everything I am, because I believe that the fact that I wasn't, all the things that I wasn't, was the reason why I was able to get out of that industry with my soul intact. Because if I would have been more up the front, if I would have been more considered as a lead singer or more important in the group to everybody, which as opposed to the ones behind the scenes that know what they know, but the ones that didn't know, it would have been harder for me to walk away. So that, I feel like that's what saved my soul, not being with. So Everything I'm Not made me everything I am. That's definitely one of his songs. That's one of my favorites because I can relate to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really did enjoy College Dropout. Yeah. College Dropout, that whole album, I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was a stroke of musical genius. As an artist myself, I mean, a lot of the songs got me through a lot. Spaceships, that joint. I've been working this grave ship and I ain't made you know what I'm saying? I wish I could get me a spaceship and fly, because we all been there. Like, you busting your ass at a 9-to-5 that's headed nowhere fast. Like that track right there, All Falls Down. You know what I mean? It talks about how, you know, we got this materialism in our mind, and we can't even go to the grocery store without a fresh pair of jeans and some ones that's clean. You know what I'm saying? He was breaking it down, bro. Even what's that one joint when he had the images with it too? It was another one he had that was on there. That whole College Dropout album was fire.
Yeah,
I can listen to it.
Right after it, his first two, and
I
that's
heard
how
him
it is.
say nothing.
What'd you say?
Yeah, somebody said late registration too. Yeah,
that's it. That's
late
it.
Yeah, and I heard him say nothing ever promised tomorrow. That joint was fire too, man. That whole album, bro. So I mean, but you know how to and actually Kanye, I think Kanye is a prime example of what we're talking about, because we're talking about how the music industry can basically deprive your soul and make you, how it's evil, how the atmosphere in general, it really affects a person internally, the inner man. And I think Kanye West is a prime example of that. He's like that guy that rose up and he was godly, came out with Jesus Walks. We know his name and everything like that. We're not gonna get into all of that. But it's like he hit the ceiling and he was like, I'm gonna do what it takes to keep on going. And he didn't realize that he should have hit that ceiling. And when I started noticing with certain fashion designers and things of that nature, my eyebrows went up. Then I was like, no, bro. And then when he married Kim, the same thing he warned us against, you know. Then he go and marry a white girl, you know, whatever you do, interracial and all that. I'm not speaking on that. If you don't know the law, if your woman is following laws of God, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to say about that, because you got women of our own nation who don't want to follow God. So that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but you know, you've seen the industry, you've seen the toxicity, you've seen how it affects them. You see him going back and forth to get shock treatment. You see, you know, you seeing him dyeing his hair. You seeing him gain, you know, 100 pounds and to lose 100 pounds. You seeing him, you know, like things like that show you like that's not where you want to be. And I hope the brother, I heard him and Kim got a divorce. That's a good step there, because she's a witch. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or evil. She's literally a witch. Like her family lineage come through a great line of witches. She actually does face paint with blood. Like she does that. So, you know, it is what it is. I hope that brother wake up. I hope he come back. I hope the Most High reel him in. You know what I'm saying? Because like we sitting here with brother Woodrow right here. Woodrow is an anomaly. That's what people don't get. Woodrow is an anomaly because he's in that industry. I'm hearing some echo. They're trying to, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, Woodrow not only was a part of the industry, but came out unscathed in the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth in the Bible. And that's just an anomaly. And that's why, you know, I know that my fellow brother from the DMV, that me and this brother is meant to sharpen each other. We meant to be friends, and we meant to do what we're doing right now. I'm hearing echo out of my end. I hope the audio is good for y'all. But yeah, somebody said YouTube playing games tonight. Yeah, they playing. We're gonna end up checking out soon anyway. I'm gonna allow Woodrow to, you know, close, you know, have his closing statements on this live.
Yeah, man, I just grateful for you having me on as always, and just pray that the Most High will bless to keep everybody that's out here listening to us, everybody checking us out. And what we do is definitely, we want everybody to know that what we're doing right now is out of love. There's no hate in it. We just want people to know that we're not trying to kill nobody's dreams or nothing like that, like people like to say. But if you're going to go into something, go into it at full. There's a lot of things that my mom used to try to tell me, because she was in music way before I was born, and I didn't want to hear none of it. And then when she passed away, now I'm wishing that I could tell her that she was right about so much stuff. So just trying to give our brothers and sisters some insight, knowing what you're going into. Get books if you determine to go into it. Get the books about everything you need to know about the music industry and stuff like that, so you know what to sign, what not to sign, and stuff like that. Somebody got a question. What they say? They say, "Are you grateful for your experiences beside the enemy lines? I'm assuming God brought some of His best work by you and please." I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful because if you never do something, you'll always think, what if? So I'm grateful for the fact that I did experience it and I never have to ask what if. Like if I would have just went on my mother word and her just saying no, I wouldn't have been happy because I always wondered what it could have been. But me being able to live it out and the Most High deliver me out with my soul intact, that's what I'm grateful for. And yeah, I'm very much at peace now. You know, like even with everything going on, it's a scripture, one of my favorite scriptures. If you don't mind, I'm going to take out of the Good News translation.
Here they go. Here they go with the audio. Here they go with the audio.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. It's just a little low. I would just say speak up and just read it anyway. We're gonna push through it.
Okay, it's Psalm 4 and it's verse 6 and 7. It says, there are many who pray, give us more blessings, O Lord. Look upon us with kindness. But the joy that you have given me is more than they will ever have with all their grain and wine. So there's so many people that want so much more out of life. But how happy I am with the least and the little bit of stuff that I have, I'm happier than a lot of them people would ever be with all that gold and platinum, all the Lamborghini trucks, all the mansions and stuff like that. I'm so much happier with just a roof over my head and clothes on my back, and that's what I'm grateful for out of all of that. Because some people don't even have the capacity. When you don't have no soul, you don't even have the capacity to be happy, no matter what you have. So it's like the fact that with the little bit that I have, I'm so happy. That's what I'm thankful to the Most High for, that I still have a soul, that I'm able to feel happiness. I'm able to feel joy. I'm able to cry when something makes me sad. The fact that I still have a soul and a heartbeat in my chest and a soul and a mind, my mind right, that's what I'm happy with. So with that, I'll always be at peace. As long as I have
praises. Praises. No, definitely, brother. And now you quantified that big time, because at the end of the day, if you soulless, you ain't gonna find happiness, because the only thing you could do is feed your flesh. Your flesh becomes everything. There's no spiritual gratification. And you know, the Bible tell you can't satisfy the flesh. So eventually you're just gonna be going down a tunnel of emptiness, trying to fulfill your carnal desires. It just ain't gonna never happen. So you finding spiritual levity, clarity, and joy with the Most High and living his word. Hey man, you can't buy that. You can't put a price tag on that. And that's why you got so many people who are rich and living an abundant lifestyle according to this world, and they throwing themselves off of balconies, and they ended up dead in hotels. They ended up in drug overdose and things of that nature. Brother Woodrow, as always, man, it's an honor to have you on, and we definitely gonna do more together. You already know what it is. We got to make some music together. This is what I want you to do. Please, if you can record your portion first, the same thing I did for Lorvins, I'll send it back, because I do music kind of like part-time, and I know you're a very busy man as well. But if you send me something, I got it. I got you. For sure. And if you want to do something, I still want to definitely do music. Okay. And I know the people want it too. So all praises to the Most High. And thank you, brother, for coming through, showing your support. Thank you for supporting me with the 100K live stream. And brother, we gonna definitely build, family. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, family. All right, salute. All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Y'all know how we do it. I'm so thankful for the brother showing up. As always, man, it's always an honor building with y'all. We experienced some technical difficulties because it's a positive message, and y'all know what it is. And I just want to say this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need y'all to support your interests. These videos, this content, as you can see, ever since I hit 100K, it seemed like it's been more eyes on me that I don't want, opposed to eyes that we need to reach. It's going to take you, the people, to really share this content. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to support. If you a person who want to take clips of it, then definitely share it. It's not about us having recognition. It's not about me having recognition. It's about the truth getting out there. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for showing up. If you would like to support this ministry, because going through a lot of these videos, they're getting demonetized. And, you know, if you want the work to continue to just come with the velocity it's becoming with, and you don't mind showing your support, my Cash App, I'll leave it in the description box. I believe it already is in the description box. It's $Newbreed 404. Support the work, support your interests, support your people. For everybody showing up, I love each and every one of y'all. Hopefully y'all took some great edification from this video. Share. Follow me on Instagram. Follow brother Yaqob at Yaqob410 on YouTube. All right. Or brother Yaqob. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But more work coming. Thank y'all for watching. With that being said, shalom and peace.